When a child discloses abuse, it takes every ounce of courage they have. It's important that the adults in their lives know how to respond properly. Straight from the professionals, here are some of our top tips. Let's start with the basics. Number 1, location is key. Remember, this information is really uncomfortable to talk about. Try and find a semi-private location and try and minimize your authority. Also, never talk to a child in front of their alleged offender. Next, use open-ended questions. You'd be surprised how much information you can get out of something like, what happened next, rather than, was it Uncle Jim? Did they threaten you? Next, collect minimal facts. Remember, whatever a child tells you during a disclosure is not something that can be used in the investigation. So once the hotline call is accepted, they would come to the Children's Safety Center and get a forensic interview. We're trying to minimize how many times a child has to tell their story, so we're only looking for the basic information: who, what, where, when. Make a report. This is the most important of our basics. Even if you are not a mandated reporter, you have a moral obligation to report any child abuse you suspect. And remember, you can always dual report and also call law enforcement on top of calling the child abuse hotline. Now, here's some of our more specific do's and don'ts. Do. Affirm them. This is the number one most important thing you could do when a child discloses something to you. These are things like, I'm proud of you for telling. You did the right thing by telling. This is not your fault. I believe you. We have a lot more don'ts. Don't act shocked or horrified or scared. You may be, but try and keep a poker face. Don't try and talk them out of it. This seems obvious, right? But what if the child says something about someone you know and trust? It becomes really easy in the moment to say things like, are you sure? Even if you are questioning the credibility, don't let the kid know that you are. Something super important that we see all the time, don't make false promises. Of course you want to say something to make the child feel better, but even if these responses are well-meaning, it's sometimes the last thing a kid needs to hear. Some things we hear are, you'll never see that person again. Well, they might, even if it's at the grocery store. Or, the person who did this is going to go to jail. Remember, this child likely has some confusing feelings about the perpetrator. They or someone in their family may really love this person. It can be devastating for them to think that they would be responsible for them being in jail. Most of the time, the kid's number one priority is just to get the abuse to stop. This is really just scratching the surface. If you have more questions, let us know. But also, keep in mind that we do mandated reporter trainings for organizations, churches, schools, anyone who is a mandated reporter. So please reach out if you're interested in learning more and how to better protect and take care of our kids.